If you came across the Buddha teaching, then in doubt you came across mindfulness. But you might still wander around the question of what mindfulness is and how it is related to other teachings of the Buddha. Not knowing what you're supposed to be doing, you end up holding on some techniques and also to some meditation programs. While mindfulness should open the wider perspective and support the rising of knowledge, you end up actually suppressing them by looking too much in the front of yourself. This means you are pushing aside the general experience and desperately observing specific things. That's the usual way many people, many practitioners do, not realizing that probably they're going even further away from Dhamma. Mindfulness and knowledge go together. You cannot just float on the idea of being here and now, hoping that the stream would take you to some enlightening experience. The nature of streams is that it's going to the more turbulent and dangerous when it grows into rivers and eventually oceans. This is not where you want to go. Therefore, you have to invest your attention to recognizing what is the stream, what is the nature, how it comes to be, and how it ceases to be. The same goes for the mind. What is it? What is made of? Where is inclined to go? You have to recognize a general experience, and then recognizing mindfulness will make you mindful. So mindfulness is not excluding things as they are, but it's recognizing everyday experience. You could call it peripheral nature, also a background, because what you have to learn are not the things set to know with your senses, like some kind of scientific researcher, but to recognize, uh, to discern what is there that is not some actual thing, but still have to be there to make those actual things possible. You have to learn that the background is always there, persisting, but not being understood. And because you do not understand that background nature, you habitually take it as a kind of self or sense of soul or even some energetic force or God. By not understanding that, you then take all specific things as something that belongs to the idea of self. Right mindfulness will change that. You learn to recognize the background to the extent that specific things do not distract the general mindfulness. One can still taste, listens, talks, even forget things, but you're still attending here and now. You're still mindful of the entire situation. When mindfulness is properly established, you will not be able to be absorbed in some specific situation. When you do that for long enough, the belief that you, with capital U, can be outside of that general situation will fade. There is no self outside of that background, since that background has also its determination, the sense objects. Background is not independent, permanent thing. When with not understanding experience, you believe that there is self and things belong to it. But with knowledge, you realize that there cannot be anything outside of experience, and that experience has both specific phenomena and a background. With the awakening to um, to the to that truth, there is the end of the idea of ownership and things there. And if there is no ownership, then there is also no owner or self. The best start of practicing mindfulness is to avoid actually doing it. With mindfulness, you are not going there. It is also not getting anything. That's why you have to restrain yourself from making that background a specific matter of the investigation. If you do that, then the background is not the background anymore. And then it means that that mindfulness is not mindfulness. But mindfulness is complete transparency of what you're doing, what for you're doing it, and eventually you will start recognizing that background. It will take time to unlearn the old habit and develop mindfulness that leads to knowledge and liberation. And that's the only way. Only then you can start practicing and asking the right questions. Only then you can start applying the Buddhist teaching within your contemplation.